Oh, we are.
Yeah, we're live. Okay. Hey guys, we're live. We're here to discuss yesterday's West Division champion Iowa Hawkeyes and the game that pursued with it. Paul's not here. We're hoping he will join us in a few minutes. So last week he missed because he fell asleep, and so let's hope that he wakes up. Okay. So Iowa wins 15-13. After did we miss actually? Did our kicker actually miss 2 extra points yesterday?
No, one.
One. We had 2 touchdowns though. I don't
One
recall.
extra point and one field goal.
Okay. I'm trying to figure. Okay. All right. My bad. Okay. So, guys, I gotta admit, I put a poll up there earlier.
They got a safety.
Huh?
That's what you're trying to figure out. They
Oh,
got.
that's what it was. The safety. Yeah. Okay. So, guys, I've tried to I put a poll up there because I was honest and said when we were down 4 points and it got to be about 4 or 5 minutes left in the game, I didn't feel we were going to come back and win. And so I put a poll out there and asked everybody, did you feel comfortable? I mean, I don't mean to say that you guys are, they're capable of coming back because I knew they were capable of it.
They're
I just
only
want to know.
4.
Yeah.
I don't get how you have ever coached anything. I just don't understand because a coach can't act like that.
Yeah.
They're only down one possession.
Yeah.
That's why. I mean.
Okay. Well, 76% of you on that poll actually. Let me see if I got that on here real quick. Yeah, 30-12, which is 76% of you felt like we were going to still win that game down 4. Okay, so I would have felt better if we hadn't missed the extra point, but that's what it is. What it is. But I got to tell you, when I was watching it, I was explaining to my son-in-law what was going on the other team, how they were trying to run twice and try to run the clock out, and then maybe throw it on third down to get a first down for us. And fortunately, they did exactly what I said they were going to do because they're just going to try to run the clock on us, and they're just going to let us run the ball on them and burn clock. They don't care. And so anyway, we're watching it, and then I'm watching us line up, and we are now at midfield. And I missed how we got there. I heard it was a wet gin punt return.
Well, it was a 10-yard return.
Okay, all right. So the punt wasn't as deep as I thought it was.
No,
okay.
He returned it like 10 yards, just right up the middle.
Okay.
He wouldn't go down.
Yeah. So anyway, we're watching, and guys, we're keeping an eye on the women's game. 74-55 currently. So anyway, as it's going down, everybody's sitting at my house playing games. I'm watching the end of the game. The father-in-law's out in the living room with me, watching the game with me, and I'm going, oh my God, he broke free. He's going. Go. I go, touchdown. And I'm jumping up and dancing around. And next thing I look around, and there's my daughter filming me. Guys, honestly, I would have let her post it if it had come out, but it didn't come out very well.
Yeah.
She said it was, she got going too late, and I cut it off too early.
Yeah. I was just like, yep, there it is.
Yeah.
What Iowa does. I mean, How many times does Iowa get to do this before you start believing?
Yeah.
It's a shock when they don't come from behind. Like the Minnesota game was a shock.
Well, they came from behind in Minnesota. They just screwed us over.
Yeah, but the refs actually took the Minnesota game away. They could be 9-1. Iowa does what they do. They're not going to score a lot of points, but they're not going to give up a lot of points.
Right.
That's just what they do. You just keep going, and finally you break one.
So we are West Division champs. I was more moved, and I was kind of emotional after I saw the way the players dumped the Gatorade on Brian and then started hugging him. And I got to tell you, it was bringing tears to my eyes. It really was. how much these guys obviously love Brian and Kirk, and people don't understand that.
Yeah.
They really don't.
Yeah.
And I'm beginning to understand it more and more as I watch this stuff. And Kirk getting emotional, and Phil Parker handing him the game ball yesterday for his 195th victory. 100. Anyway, he's one head of Bo now. He was tied with Bo last week. This week he's ahead of Bo.
Yeah, I think it's a 195.
Yeah, 195. Okay. And to see Kirk getting emotional over it and give credit for all the guys that came ahead of this team, helping him get there and giving credit to those guys. And he said he'll remember this team for a long time.
Kirk's always emotional, though.
He is.
Parker being emotional is what got me.
Yeah, that he couldn't even. Yeah, he started and he just kind of like teared
Kirk's
up, man.
Emotional to me. He may be a little bit more emotional because of the deal with Brian, but this is how he is with every team for the most part. I mean, you can go back through the years how many times Kirk cried in a post-game interview, and Kirk's just always been a softie. But seeing Parker cry, because Parker's not a softie, that's what got me. But Parker's been there for 25 years too. Parker's been a part of every single victory.
He has. He's been there from day one.
Yeah. So I guess that makes sense. Just all the emotions coming together of 195 Big Ten wins, man.
Yeah. So yeah, it just felt like most of the time, the second half, it just felt like the game was belonging to okay. Oh God, guys, what my brain is going.
Illinois.
Okay.
Illinois.
Yeah, Illinois. It felt like it belonged on the Illinois side. But on the other side, too, it seemed like Paddock was going off on us, and Williams was catching a lot of balls. But in the reality, when the game is over and you look back on it, it wasn't as near as much as I thought it was.
That's because you watch a game differently, I guess.
Yeah.
Watching Paddock do exactly what I said he was. Remember, I told you I evaluated him. I did not think he was that good. Like, I would love that he started because Iowa did exactly what they do. He was only like 45% passing or something.
His passing wasn't that great.
I mean, people have to realize every defense is different. Everybody's all worried about him because he threw 500 yards the week before against Indiana?
Yeah. Well, and that's what we said in our preview show is after realizing who he was throwing the ball against.
I mean, that's just like everybody talking about USC and UCLA coming in. They're not playing against Iowa's defense.
Yeah.
Like it's silliness to compare defenses against Iowa's, who has probably the best defense in the country if they had a better offense to keep them off the field. Like if they had an Alabama offense where they're on the field at least 30 minutes every single game, right?
Yeah.
30 to 30, let's just say 30 to 33 minutes, just a little bit over half of the game Iowa's offense has the ball. This defense would be probably the best defense in the country, right? But we do a different style of offense. So, I mean, Iowa plays a field position game. They trust their defense and they trust the punter.
Yeah.
Right? And then they let the offense do what they do, get a couple first downs. Speaking of that, they haven't had hardly any 3-and-outs the last 2 weeks.
No.
So, I mean, they didn't have any 3-and-outs against Rutgers, not one.
Yeah.
Right?
And I don't know what to be totally honest, I don't know what Hill's percentage was, but I know he was over 50%.
Yeah, he's completing like 64% or something like that, 60% over the last 3 games.
Yeah.
So
well, I'm definitely becoming more comfortable with the way our style plays, the way we have, and when you look back on it over the years. That's, we just had a few exceptional years where we were averaging 31 or 28 points a game. But most of the time, it's been mid-20s and lower.
Yeah, I mean, I tell people, I mean, everybody wants to talk about 2021. 2021's offense was exactly like 2009's offense.
Mm-hmm.
All the stats were exactly the same across the board.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is Petrus didn't throw the interceptions that Stanzi did. Stanzi threw 15 interceptions, but everybody wants to talk about how great Stanzi was that year. No, he threw 17 interceptions or 17 touchdowns and 15 interceptions that year.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, no, it hasn't been. It's only been bad for the last 2 years. The last 2 years, it's been pretty bad. 2022 was really bad, and this year is pretty bad up until now. They're starting to figure it out. Deacon still looks awkward as heck in the pocket. Like, he just looks awkward. And maybe it's just because he's so dang big.
Yeah.
Like,
but when he took off for that run on that first down, oh my God, I thought he's a little faster than he looks.
yeah, but he went. I mean, he's very weak for a big guy.
Yeah, because he comes down easy. When they touch him, he comes down real easy.
Like, he's afraid to get hit. Even on that run, he just kind of fell down, right? He didn't actually get tackled. They grabbed onto him, but he wasn't going to try to break any tackles.
Yeah.
He just went in the pocket. I mean, he does the same thing in the pocket.
Right. In case anybody didn't know, South Bend knows that I'm in Oklahoma this week. In case you guys didn't know, I'm in Oklahoma until the 29th of November. The weather got really thunderstormy and rainy today. I haven't been in a good old-fashioned rainstorm like that and thunderstorm in a long time because we don't get those in the area of California I live in.
Yeah, you're in Tornado Alley.
Yeah, we are. And guess what?
It's not
this. I mean, this next Saturday, because it is a week straight at the end of the day, there's a 40% chance of snow here. Anyway, moving on.
It does snow in North Texas as well, so.
Yeah. Okay. All right. How negative is the Hawkeye fan? Remember after PSU game, there was some crying about Iowa would finish 3-9, and how about after the Minnesota? I was just griping about some of our negative fans. Yeah, Jared, I would agree with you. I've been trying to present a more positive focus side on my post on Facebook. If I can't be that way, then I'm not posting anymore unless I'm trying to be positive. But I was one of the ones after the Penn State game that I said we still have a 10, 11 win season in front of us. That I just felt that, once we got our act together, because how many teams could go into the situation that Iowa went into in the whiteout in a rainstorm at night,
People don't want to hear that, though.
Yeah, that's a tough situation to play in. Yeah. It really is, and okay.
The Iowa women, I think, are up by 30.
They are up 88-64, according to my cell phone.
Well, I'm blind as a bat, so I can't. I mean, it's a huge screen even, and I can see the big numbers, but I can't exactly. It looks like it's 54.
Yeah.
So, but it's 64. You said.
Yeah.
Okay. So it looked like they were up by 30.
Yeah. So, 30-yard run by Johnson. Cody brings up. I do want to say Johnson was our leading rusher, despite the fact that he only touched the ball a few times, but that 30-yard run helped. Now, I'm confused about him because, you hear rumors that he's unhappy, doesn't like his role and everything, but yet every time he gets on the interviews, like he was interviewed both by TV and the radio yesterday, and both times he said how much he loves the Ferences, how much he loves Iowa, he feels at home, gives credit to the offensive line when he does well.
What do you expect him to say?
Well,
you expect him to say, "Yeah, I'm transferring. I'm done."
No. I just didn't expect that kind of enthusiasm.
Yeah,
out of him. I thought he'd be more non-committal.
He's a very positive kid. He does not like his role, which is understandable because he worked really hard in the offseason, gained 15 pounds of muscle.
Right.
Weighs 222 pounds, and he thought he was going to be an every down back. Well, he doesn't run with the right style. He has to have a hole, right? He doesn't create his own. And he's very slow to the hole. Once he gets to the hole, if it's blocked well, he's gone. He's the fastest running back on the team.
Yeah.
However, he's very patient. He runs like Le'Veon Bell, if you guys remember. very patient, reads his blocking, but if
Mm-hmm.
there's no blocking, he's screwed.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, he had 10 carries, 50 yards. He played the whole game. Like he came in the first quarter, had a carry, got like
Mm-hmm.
yards, and went back out.
Yeah.
He's also been injured, but I honestly, this is just me, just from what I hear, I think he's homesick.
Okay.
I
All right.
I think his biggest issue is he's homesick. It looks like to me, but
Uh-huh.
he's a very positive kid. He's not going to come out and say anything bad, and either
Okay.
is the boss did.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I will be so disappointed if he enters that transfer portal. I really will. I like the kid, and I hope he stays and they get things worked out for him. He kept talking about the three-headed monster they have, soon to be six-headed monster, in his interview, and I just thought, he seems so positive and so upbeat about what's going on with him. But okay,
because
Jared writes, I'll
because
admit
he's a
the
good kid.
fourth quarter I had to stop watching the game and go outside to cool off while looking up the score on my ESPN app. Thank you, Jared. I wasn't the only one that was getting worried. Okay. I know. Okay. South Bend, do you have a ticket for Indy yet? I think he answered that later on. I don't remember. Hi, Ari, good to see you. I'm just gonna try to run through some of these comments and catch up because I'm way behind. No, just hotel reservations that I made back in September. Okay. All right. Ari, it was over our. It was over our. Did the fine stay at 30? Not sure, Casey.
The
What?
over under.
Oh! They're talking about the over.
It was 32 and a half.
Okay, so we finished the under.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
as usual. Okay. Cody says it was awesome to see. I was in section 103, row 2. So,
Road three.
Cody, was the crowd going nuts and wild at that point? I'm sure they were. You know.
Yeah, we were texting friends that were at the game, and we're telling them I don't see any false starts. We're giving a hard time. There was no false starts on Illinois, so I was texting my friends or whatever. And the wife that was at the game. Like, what are you guys doing? There's no false starts. Get louder.
Okay. Darlow says he has an extra ticket. Good to see that you guys are all trying to see if you can get to the game in Indy. I think that's great. Hawks could use our support because when we face Ohio State, we're going to need a little extra loudness.
I pray it's Ohio State. God,
I think it's going to be. I'm confident.
I hope so because Ohio State's is not that good.
But it is at Michigan, I believe, though. Or right?
Right. I mean, Iowa has almost zero shot against Michigan, but they can beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
Because they can intercept Ohio State, they can stop Ohio State's offense.
I wonder. So the other night we went to, I think it was Friday night. We went to my granddaughter's choir concert at her school, and so we sat next to this couple, and I was wearing my Hawkeye hoodie, and he goes, "Iowa Hawkeyes, huh?" And he started laughing and snickering a little bit, and I go, "Well, don't have to worry about us because we don't play the Sooners." Assuming he was a Sooner fan, he goes, "No." He goes, "I'm an Ohio State Buckeye guy."
No.
And he said that he's afraid that if Ohio State doesn't win this Michigan game, that Ryan Day is time at Ohio State's over. And I go, yeah, despite the fact that he's getting you guys to the playoffs every year, and you can't beat him, you can't beat the one team that Ohio State fans want, so he's going to be run out of town. And he goes, unfortunately, that's the way it works at Ohio State.
Yeah, I don't see it happening, but if they get into the playoff, but if they don't get into the playoff, probably. Yeah. You're probably right. Is that a Morningside Mustang shirt you have on?
No, this is the Mustang Broncos because my kids go to the Mustang schools, and they're called the Mustang Broncos. They got two horses for a name. The Mustang School the school's called Mustang. They decided to come the Broncos. I think that was the stupidest thing in the world.
Well,
to call them two horses.
Yeah, Mustang's a mascot. I didn't realize that. That's actually the name of the school.
Yeah. That's where my grandkids go to school. They go to school at Mustang. It's Mustang Middle School North, Mustang Middle School South, Mustang High School, Mustang Central. There's not a school with any other name but Mustang in it in the whole district.
Darlo, do you need another camper? Do you need somebody that could just sleep in a camper to go to the game?
We'll get it there for you, South Bend. Oh boy, my uncle, who's an Ohio State fan, has tickets for myself and son if Ohio State goes. Otherwise, I'm just gonna hit the secondary market. Sorry for the cough, guys.
We're probably not gonna go.
Okay. It's a long ways to travel from Omaha, and definitely a long ways for me. As for the defense performances, I think this is their second worst performance. Penalties almost cost the game. P.S. worse, and Minnesota scored four scoring drives. Yeah, all finished with field goals. What do you think about our yesterday's defense? Do you think that do you think they stepped it up?
I think they played well. They only gave up 280 yards of offense. Paddock was 22 of 47 passing. Like I think they knocked down 13 passes. They had 13 pass breakups. The only thing that I could critique the Iowa defense on would be not catching the interceptions like they always do.
Right.
If Cooper was there, Cooper would have had 2 picks. He wouldn't have dropped those picks that Lee dropped. Lee should have had 2 picks easy.
Yeah. It's kind of disappointing to see for a team that led the nation for a couple of years in interception is we're just not doing as well as we normally do.
On turnovers, period. Turnovers right now.
Right. Okay.
Last week, Schulte got the first turnover in 11 quarters or something like that. And so, I mean, yeah, as far as turnovers goes, the defense is really struggling.
Yeah. Casey says, I'll watch the game at home and listen to Dolph. I'll watch the game at home and listen to whoever the announcers are. By the way, what did you think of the color guy yesterday that did the color? Not Gus Johnson who did the play-by-play, but the color guy. He's just driving me nuts last night.
Joe Klatt?
No, he's a black guy.
I guess I don't know who he was. I thought it was Joel Klatt. He's the one that
I can't think of what his name was, but he was just very, very critical of Iowa all the time. But he's done the games before, so I recognize his voice and everything. And I've seen him. He's kind of a little hefty black guy. Okay.
You don't like anybody that's critical of Iowa? You don't like anybody to be critical of Iowa?
I don't think the announcers should be critical.
What was he saying that was critical? I don't remember.
I can't remember anything specific. I really can't. I'm sorry. Okay.
Feeling it now. Iowa's up by 30 now.
105-77. 28.
Yeah. Caitlin's on fire now.
Yeah. She probably got upset with all the fans dumping on her. Did you see how the fans dumped on her?
No.
After the game?
I don't pay attention.
They were blaming her because her game was off and she was taking shots when she shouldn't have. She should have got her teammates more involved. You know, those girls were like huge monsters inside. They had a hard time getting the ball dished in there. They had a hard time getting in there to even lay a ball in. You know, it's hard to be critical when they got outplayed by a very good team who can play defense.
Iowa has some of the most ignorant fans in all levels. So, just like football, the fans were booing running of the football, and it turned out to be the play before the winning run. I want to say the fans were booing the play call.
Yeah,
and the very next play was the touch. I mean, the Iowa fans are some of the most ignorant fans on the planet. Like it's crazy. It's weird. It's dumb.
I know it. It's just I'm getting kind of tired of reading some of the negativity the next day. You know, I've been trying to delete some of the more nasty negative stuff. I haven't deleted all of it, but when people start jumping all over each other because some person tries to say, hey, it wasn't that bad, it was more like this, and that person doesn't like it, then all of a sudden they start calling names. Yeah, it's just like, get the heck out of here.
Yeah, I just ignore. or I debate and just shut them up with facts. I do that.
You're kind of a cool cucumber on that, and you just kind of like chill. You just kind of come back with your stuff, and
Yeah.
I like the way you handle everybody out there. You do a better job.
That's because I actually love to debate, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm feeling right and feeling fired up, I'll go in.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't get all excited and
overhyped.
Okay. I do call some people ignorant, like I just did, but other than that, that's as far as I go with it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. South Bend says ear pods at Casey. Okay. Darlow's go Hawks. Beginning of the game, I thought it would be a Hawkeye blowout. What happened?
And what happened was Deacon just got off his game. He still had the same wide open receivers, but he's just the play calling is to benefit him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he should be completing a lot more passes.
Does it seem like lately we start fast, then the middle gets a little slow, and then we finish strong? Am I wrong? No,
you're right. But it's all up to the court. And this offense is quarterback driven. If the quarterback would complete the passes to the open receivers, I'm not saying when the receivers are covered, just hit the open receivers. It'll look like it did in the first quarter all game long. But then he starts throwing the ball 10 miles over everybody's head. There was one play where Caleb Brown he wide open in the middle of the field, right in front of him on a 15-yard dig. And the ball just sailed flying over his head. And and you could just see Caleb go like this. Caleb Brown, he just went after he watched the ball go.
Yeah. I'm so happy for Caleb Brown because, man, he was involved all game long, and I think he ended up with 5 catches or something like that. I don't remember for sure.
Yeah, I think he did. And Regini had 4.
Yeah. Hey, Jared, I'm going to come back when we get done with the and talk a little bit about the wrestling match today and Spencer Lee. We'll come back to that. I want to stay on the football for now. Okay. Okay. Deacon Hill's performance scared me. The offense inconsistency keeps scaring me.
As long as they don't turn the ball over, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because they'll just keep pounding and pounding. You notice the games they lost, Deacon turned the ball over. They only lost to Minnesota because of Deacon Hill. That was the reason they lost. When you talk about Iowa's defense against Minnesota, remember they took over. Minnesota took over inside the 10-yard line on one drive because of a Deacon Hill fumble.
Wow. Okay. I was thinking OSC would be better for us, but after seeing how tired look, I'm leaning toward them. Oh, Michigan. And seeing how tired Michigan was. That'd be Harbaugh's first game back. Did you guys hear that they were negotiating with the NCAA, the Big Ten and NCAA to reduce? Or the Big Ten and him were discussing.
I was going to say it's the Big Ten.
Yeah. Yeah. To reduce the suspension to 2 games so that he could be back for this game this week. But NCAA released some information that made it impossible for the Big Ten to reduce the suspension. But I haven't heard what that is.
It's dumb. It doesn't matter. He shouldn't be suspended until he's found guilty, regardless.
Right.
Like, suspended him now before he's even found guilty of anything.
Right. I think what they're trying to do is suspend him so that those games, if he coaches them, don't become disqualified later. You know what I mean?
What is this?
Okay, Coach, please
Tear
don't.
Rick down. I just said the facts. See, there's another one. I didn't tear Rick down. I gave you the facts. Ricky Stanzi had 17 touchdowns and 15 interceptions, and he threw like 4 pick sixes. I mean, those are the facts. he lived. They lived with the 2009's defense. That's what won the games.
Right.
No difference than right now. My point was 2021's offense was exactly the same as 2009's, but everybody talks about 2009's offense like it's a huge deal.
Yeah.
When no, it was exactly the same as 2021's.
Yeah. And the other deal with Ricky Stanzi, Kirk Ferentz said in an interview last week that, you got to have the quarterback not turn the ball over. He says, unless your name is Ricky Stanzi.
Yeah, right? That team, even with all his pick sixes and interceptions, he threw 15 interceptions. And they had 2 true freshman running backs. And they still won the Orange Bowl, right? Because of the defense, just like now. It's no difference. It's been 25 years of it with Kirk. So, I mean, I wasn't tearing him down. I was just giving the facts. Like I said, I always give the facts. Like, I have nothing against Rick Stanzi. I like watching him play. Yeah. But we can't sit here and pretend that he didn't throw 15 interceptions and a bunch of pick sixes. And that was one season, 15 interceptions in just 2009.
Yeah. The stats that, Jared, that actually stand out are not a true standout in my opinion, but how even Illinois and Iowa stats were across the board. I think we finished with 1 more total yard than they did.
The only stat that really stands out to me is 13 pass breakups and no interceptions.
Yeah. That was cool. That was cool.
13 times the defense had their hands on the ball and did not catch one of them.
Yeah. I'm looking at Caleb Brown's stats. He caught 7 balls for 71 yards. So, way to go, Caleb. I mean, or is it Caleb or Caleb?
No, it's Caleb.
Caleb, yeah. I'm so happy for him because he got off to such a rough start.
Yeah, but that was on him. He let all the hype go to his head.
Yeah.
He was sleeping in meetings. And you remember when Kirk Ferentz said that if you're going to stay, don't think we're going to kiss your ass because we're not going to kiss anybody's ass? I think that was like a shot at Caleb Brown saying, just because you're a star or you haven't been a star yet, right? You were at Ohio State doing nothing. And and when I think you're talking about Caleb Brown. Caleb Brown was sleeping in meetings. He wasn't learning the offense very well. He was running the wrong routes.
Well, I think it's cool that Hill and Brown seem to be growing up together because neither one of them have played much since, before, because, we know that Brown didn't play except for a couple of plays last year.
Right. He had I think he had 1 catch, maybe 2 catches last year.
1 catch, and it was against Iowa.
There you go.
Okay. Iowa to stock up on the swarm. I want Harbaugh.
I don't want Harbaugh.
Look vulnerable. Jay.
No, he always looks vulnerable. He does. But then he does something. The team is just stacked. Like, I don't know how much better I would be with JJ at quarterback. Because, just JJ isn't better than Cade. He's faster. The only thing he is he's faster. He runs a 4.340, 4.440. He's legit a speedster. But there's just so much talent on that Michigan team, whether it's the defense or the running backs. I mean, the offensive line appears to be just as good as they've always been, which the reason they were winning before, even with Cade, was their offensive line and stuff. But Cade made them look good, which is what I thought Cade could do for Iowa's offensive line. And he maybe could have, but if he doesn't get hurt. But yeah, I just don't want any part of Michigan. I think they're the best team in the country next to Georgia. I think if as long as Michigan, and I said this from the beginning of the year, as long as Michigan can, well, I didn't say this part, but if they can ignore all the outside noise with the cheating, because we got to remember these are 18 to 22-year-old kids.
Mm-hmm.
So if they let all this cheating stuff bother them, then they could slip up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Maybe that can happen against Ohio State.
Yeah.
But if they don't, I honestly think it's going to be Georgia, Georgia and Michigan in the national championship.
Okay. How would you grade the special teams' overall performance?
I'd give them a C. They were just there was no return game. There was just nothing. There was missed field goal, missed extra point.
Yeah, I like that one where
Yeah.
If the guy doesn't roll on top of the ball, it doesn't go into the end zone because it looked like it was either going to die or bounce out of bounds at the 1 yard line, and he kind of carried it into the end zone.
That's another play that where Cooper would have got it at the 1.
Yeah, he'd have stopped it at the 1.
Yeah.
He'd run past the ball and take his hand and flick it back.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there was that, like Torrey. I mean, he's so used to somebody getting his ball. He was probably getting frustrated on that too, even though I think he still averaged over 50 yards a punt.
52 yards a punt.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't. The special teams did not win the game yesterday. Everybody on defense and special teams, not yesterday. Defense did because they still only gave up 13 points.
Okay. Yeah, that's. I can tell I'm so far behind on these posts. That stuff that was mentioned earlier is already coming back to us.
Yeah. Well, they had 64 at half, I think, South Bend. Yeah, I don't know who the dude was. I don't pay attention to announcers like that. So I just know Gus is always with Joel Klatt. That's all I know.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Gus.
Dean's right, Coach. It sounded like he was rooting for Illinois.
Okay. Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I don't pay attention to that crap. I pay attention to the game, the scheme.
Agreed, Casey. Coach is just trying to be a downer tonight. Oh my God! There you go. You've been challenged, dude.
I'm not sure how I'm being a downer. But you say name one thing I said that was a downer. Because I didn't know the announcer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Devin Gardner is who I was talking about. That's who they were talking about. Okay.
Devin Gardner, number 90. What was he number? 99, 97?
Okay. Go to bed, Coach. You're getting what? He's just playing with you. I know he's playing with you.
Yeah, because I haven't said one thing. I don't know what he's talking about. I haven't said one thing negative.
Okay. NCAA still has to do their investigation. Yeah, so a lot of these people are mentioning stuff that we've since not talked about. So, heard Jim Baja is the type guy for the Chicago Bears. Did they fire their coach today?
I don't know, but I hope so. I hope you're right.
I mean, people I've been hearing talk all over the internet. I've been reading. It looks like people are talking about whoever the new Bears coach is going to be. Can we talk about Stanley's Big Ten record and why people think he was so good? No Nate Stanley talk tonight, please. Okay, Hawk fans need to support the BBB. Bring back Brian.
Hey, Jerry, you know how to do this? I do want to start a petition if Iowa beats Nebraska to bring back Brian. I already know he's not, but I want to start a petition.
The hidden yards that Coop accounts for were more noticeable yesterday in punt coverage. I actually was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, that's spot on.
Okay. Hawkeye Wrestling. Drake Ayala lost 7-6 today. That's an upset. Yes, it is. I was expecting to have a Spencer Lee type year. Brody Teskey won by major decision. Real Woods won. Victor, I can't even say his last name, won in sudden death. And
there was a freshman I heard. I got all over my Facebook was some freshman wrestler that won. He did really well, apparently.
Jared would have to answer that. Yeah, Jared Franken won. Okay. I don't know who else. Is that the only winners there, Jared? Okay. Well, let's go back. I wanted to cover one of those questions that you had.
Can someone tell me the score of the Broncos game?
Okay, guys. Alrighty. Shout out to Spencer Lee for qualifying for the Olympic qualifications. Way to go.
Olympics are back?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. They should be coming up here the first of the year.
I did not know that.
I don't know if it's winter or summer Olympic. Is wrestling in the winter or summer Olympics? I don't know. Okay.
I know they got rid of wrestling.
They brought it back. DeSanto's qualified too. Okay. Cool. All right. So, let's go back to here. I know that there's some new. Okay. 3-0 Denver. Wow. Iowa score.
It just started though.
Oh, it just started. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then we're going to get you off of here pretty soon because I'm about done.
Okay.
I got family out here. Okay. Michael, however you say his name, won. Gabe Arnold won with an upset. Brandon Swafford lost bad. Zach Glazier won, and Bradley Hill lost.
But Iowa won there.
Wrestling is on the Summer Olympics. Okay.
Iowa won the meet, right?
Yes.
Okay.
He posted the score earlier for us. Iowa 25, Oregon State 11.
Hey, what's the final score of the Iowa game? 113 to what?
90.
Oh, they won by 23.
Yeah.
35 points by Caitlin.
Okay. Caitlin's back to being Caitlin tonight. Iowa versus ISU wrestling will be huge on ESPN. When is that game, Jared, or that match? While you come up with that for us, I'm going to go over our picks from last week. Paul, who's not with us tonight, and I really wish he would have been here. Okay, he was a perfect 10-0. He got every game right. So he's overall record at 67-29. He's still in third place though. Jason, you went 9-2. You lost Utah because you picked Utah over Arizona, and you lost Oregon State because you Washington won the game. Okay. Oh, next Sunday. Thanks, Jared. Okay, I went 9-1. I also picked Utah and lost that, but I got every other one right. I'm actually shocked that the games actually went my way. So I'm in first place at 70-26. You're 68-28. And Paul is 27-29. He's making a move because he went undefeated.
Hell yeah.
Okay, for those. All right, let's see. For those of you that haven't watched Brand's interview with the media about Iowa DCI, need to find it and watch it. It was great. Okay.
Is the DI the gambling thing? What's the DI?
Yeah, the people who investigated the gambling stuff.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, that was pretty epic. I'm not gonna lie.
Who are your guys' Final Four in college football playoffs? Well, you want me to say now before the championship games? I'll tell you next week.
I can give you my 4 right now.
You go ahead because I don't think both Ohio State and Michigan will be in their playoff. So
they will. It'll be Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, and Washington in that order.
Yeah, Washington's not looking too bad. With they got that Penix guy from Indiana. I'm sure glad he didn't stick around at Indiana because he probably could have turned them into some winning some games.
It's different. I mean, he's got so much talent around him in Washington too, compared to Indiana.
Yeah, Jared's got Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia, and Florida State. We forgot about them.
No, Florida State's done.
Did they lose? Blah, blah, blah.
No, they're a starting quarterback. They're all-world quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Just nasty. Just
okay.
It was gross.
All right.
So I think they're going to lose. They could lose any of the next ones.
Mm-hmm.
I believe
South Bend has Washington, Ohio State, Alabama, and Florida State. How is Alabama going to work its way back in with 2 losses?
They only got 1 loss. If they beat Georgia, they work their way back.
Okay, that's my bad. I was thinking they had 2 losses.
I just don't think they can beat Georgia. Georgia's my number 1.
Okay. All right, guys. I think this is a good place to end it. I got a bad cough going on, and Oh no. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys watching and listening, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Okay, guys, we're out.
Guys, bye,
We'll
Terry.
talk to you later in the week.